What's going on, guys? So in this video we're going to be talking about an extremely exciting release that a lot of people have been anticipating the release of, and I'm finally at liberty to go ahead and give you guys a full review and all of my thoughts now that it is available for special pre-order pricing. We're talking about the new release upcoming from Zaharoff called Signature Leather TABAC. Stay tuned. So before we jump into looking at the presentation and all the goodies that come along with this, obviously George Zaharoff is a dear friend of mine. I am part of the Zed Creators Project. I do have my second fragrance released with him, but this is honestly how I feel about this fragrance, and there are ways to sample it from the website even after the pre-order is over. So take my thoughts with a grain of salt. Be your own judge. Sample it. Try it on your skin. But I'm pretty excited to talk to you about this because this is probably going to be the best of the house and a lot of people's favorite. So let's get into it. So first things first, let's look at the production box. So this is actually a piece of tumbled leather with texturing, raised print, signature leather TABAC. So there's a piece of leather with tobacco leaves laying on top of it. You have the leather on one side, the tobacco leaves on the other, all pressed in metallic. Here on the back, you do have George Zaharoff rolling out the leather with the tobacco leaves drying in the background. All the metallics, the Z logo, and quickly I want to show you a little treat that I'm exclusively able to bring you. This is a prototype box that is made completely of tumbled leather. Now the print doesn't show up as well because it's all tumbled and textured leather the whole way around. So that's why it's not in production. You can see the difference. You can't even see George's face. But I absolutely love this box, and George was nice enough to let me have it. And I mean literally, the entire thing is made of tumbled leather. So just a nice little prototype artifact that I was lucky enough to get my hands on. So let's take a look at this bottle. So in regards to this bottle, that is actually a full leather plate. It's very hard texturing. Same thing, you got the leather on one side, the tobacco leaves on the other. It does wrap all the way around. There is a thickness to the grain. You can see just how thick the grain is. This super dark, robust colored juice. And this is more of a bead blasted texture to this cap with the paint being baked on. You do have your Z logo in there. Let me try to get it to where you guys can see it. There we go. Z logo down in there. Standard Zaharoff atomizer that puts out just right. And it's my scent of the day. I have a great sillage and a fresh spray on my hand. Let's talk about this scent. So in the top of leather TABAC, you're going to be met with a little bit of a medicinal feel at the top. So there's some plum here. It's juicy. It's lightly sweet because there's a lot of spice here. There's rosemary. There's some star anise. You get this animalic leather tone at the top. You're not hit with too much tobacco. It's more leather, spices, and plum. So there is a little bit of a freshness. I mean, just a little bit, because the rosemary provides this fresh, spicy type of feel to it, plus the juicy plum, and it's very in your face. You're not really expecting this the first time you smell it. It's very punchy in the top. It literally punches you in the nose. It's very in your face. This stuff is really strong. We're going to talk about performance in a little bit, but there's also some black pepper. There's cumin in here. There's a lot of things to add this dark, rich, spicy tone, because once you start to settle from that top, it starts to really smooth over. For as in your face as the opening is, it gets much smoother and a lot more spicy. The spices are the star of the show, even though it's centered around this animalistic leather, this rough and tumble leather, with this more earthy and, I guess, dense and moist tobacco note versus the dry, aromatic, leafy tobacco that was featured in the original Signature TABAC. So you will get a little bit of the original's DNA as it dries when you get deeper into the dry down, but this is a reworked fragrance. It is a flanker, but it's still reworked as a whole because it's a different tobacco oil that was used in here versus the tobacco oil in Signature TABAC. So once you get into that, there's this lovely suede accord. It's kind of like that fuzzy, musky type of suede as it dries down, because you get a lot of leather and tobacco in the heart of this fragrance, but you still get some leather at the top. And then there's a lovely frankincense tone. It's resinous and woody as it dries, but you never really lose that animalistic tone to the fragrance that you do get from the start, and you get it all the way deep in the dry down as it settles. There is an underlying sweetness here, but it's not too sweet because there's notes like plum, and in the base there's a honey accord, but it's not too thick and sweet. There's always that nice undertone of sweetness that obviously will come through more on some than it does on others. At least for me, it's all about this deep, rich, dark, resinous, spicy leather feel with a supportive, rich, moist, and earthy tobacco. That's really the stars of the show here on My Skin. It's very unique. I've never smelled another fragrance quite like this. When I said punchy in the opening, I kind of feel like that's an understatement because this one grabs you. This is captivating and it's super, super masculine. Ladies that are going to want to wear this like masculine fragrances. I'm not saying ladies can't wear this. You absolutely can. Just know that it's very, very uber masculine and it's so pungent and strong. I really feel like when people get their nose on this, especially giving it a full wearing for that first time, this is going to rocket to the top of a lot of people's favorite from the house, even over Rosé, which for me, it's hard to pick a favorite between the two because they're two totally different experiences. But leather fans, spicy fragrance fans, tobacco fragrance fans, this is going to be one of your favorites in your collection. Again, it's not bias talking, guys. It's experience talking. And this is an experience that people are going to want to have. So that's why I say at minimum, when samples become available once this launches on February 1st, I would suggest securing a sample, getting a decant from Decanters. I don't know if travel sizes will be available. I believe they will be from Zaharoff, as well as the 2 ml samples, and try this fragrance. More than likely, you're going to want to secure a bottle. Now, moving into performance, that's where this is ridiculous. This is hands down the strongest and longest lasting fragrance that has ever been put out by the House of Zaharoff. It's absurdly powerful. I have 4 sprays on, counting the one on my hand right now, and it's ridiculous. It's a 22% concentration, so it's a high-level eau de parfum that has staying power of a rich parfum extrait with the brightness of an eau de toilette. So it's very bright, it's very loud. This is 12 plus hours. Let's get the longevity out the way. This is staying on you until you take a shower and scrub it off. However long into your day after you spray it, that's how long it lasts. If you're pulling an all-nighter or something and can't shower till in the morning the next day, it's still going to be there. That's not going to be literally every single human on the planet's experience, but that's going to be the majority. That's been my experience and those that I know that have been able to be part of the sampling process once this fragrance became a thing. So longevity, no issues here, guys. Projection, absurd, ridiculous, offensive in some ways. Again, 3 sprays. Those of you that saw my live stream when we were in Chicago a while back, I sprayed from this bottle, actually. I had wore 3 sprays the night before. The next night I wore 3 sprays again. And Justin saw me, and Justin said, "Did you just spray that 3 times again?" I said, "I sure did." He said, "Did you not learn your lesson? Because this is a room filler." That's why I give you that tangential story to tell you how strong the projection is. So this stuff takes a while to calm down. It's an immense sillage. This is a room filler. This is a bona fide nuclear beast mode fragrance. It's absurdly powerful in its projection. In the first 2 to 3 hours, it's really strong. You heavy sprayers are choking everyone out, including yourself with this one. You're going to overwhelm yourself. You're probably going to wear your nose out fast. So you're only going to choke yourself out for a little bit, but everyone else around you is going to smell this immensely humongous and strong scent bubble. Sillage is on the heavy side. This lingers. This films a room. For those of you that saw the Zed Creator live streams and stuff while we were getting all the fragrances ready for the 2.0 collection while we were in Chicago, that big ballroom that we were in, 3 sprays filling a room. Justin and George one day each had a spray on their hand, filling that massive room. I'm not over-exaggerating here, guys. That's going to be most people's experience. This stuff is strong. A 2-ounce bottle will last you a while. We will talk about the 4. I'll show you guys the 4-ounce in just a moment because it is available in 2 sizes. But if you're those of you guys that are all into these beasts, gotta be a strong performer. I want everybody to smell me. This is the fragrance you've been waiting for from Zaharoff. This is the most powerful thing George Zaharoff has ever put out in his collection. Claude Deere did an amazing job creating something unique, very in your face, loud and intrusive, but still extremely wearable at the same time. This is classy. It dresses up well. It's a daring fragrance in many ways that will absolutely make a statement, and the performance dictates making a strong statement. So final thoughts on Signature Leather TABAC. Like I said, we'll talk about how it's available in 2 sizes. So I have a sealed 4-ounce bottle right here as well as the 2-ounce bottle. So you can get it in both sizes. This isn't open yet because I have no reason to open it right now. I have a 2-ounce I'm spraying from. Out of fairness, I'm not going to give it a rating because, the naysayers, because he's my friend, are going to say that I'm giving it this high rating because of it. I just encourage you guys to get your nose on this and be your own judge. Because for me personally, this is cream of the crop. This rockets into the top 10 of my collection. This and Rosé are the 2 best of the house for me. And I can't really dethrone Rosé because it's a completely different experience. So Rosé and this are 1A and 1B for me from the house of Zaharoff. Like I said before, those of you that are into any of the following, if you like really spicy fragrances, animalistic, leather-heavy fragrances, rich, moist, earthy tobaccos, or monster performers that make a strong statement, you're going to want to get your nose on this. And after you sample it, I'm pretty confident you're going to secure at least a 2-ounce bottle because this stuff is absolutely no joke. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on the new release, releasing on February 1st, available at the recording of this video and the link down below at a special pre-order pricing because the price does go up on both sizes on February 1st when it releases, but you should be able to sample once February hits as well. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you like this video, share it with somebody that you think would be interested in hearing some information about this fragrance. Thank you again, George, for allowing me to have this bottle. This was actually George's bottle before he had all of the production bottles. So this was the prototype bottle before these came out. So thank you again for allowing me and affording me the opportunity to bring this content to these viewers that are watching this right now, because I know you'll see this video, George. And guys, I hope when you get your nose on it, you love it. If you don't, at least you got your nose on it and you can have the experience. Because again, this isn't going to be for everybody because it's a very strong statement maker on the daring side. That's really something special. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Leather TABAC, Signature Leather TABAC from Zaharoff, and you give it a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later because it's awesome. Have a good one, guys.